DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wedding Chat with Dave Ternier and Jeremy Brech.
Good evening, Dave. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. You got a lot going on behind you. You got a big CDG or CD. Just tell me. Start with a C.
The letters are actually up there, aren't they? No, this is my new office.
Oh, CDJA. Sorry, I had to like maximize my screen to actually read what was behind you.
Got it. Yes, apologies for the poor lighting, everyone. I am in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada's nation capital, and I've been out here in Ontario for a couple of days for some CPDJA meetings, and decided to head out to Ottawa tonight for a networking night out here. So we had over 30 DJs out here tonight for tonight's networking night. So it's a pretty good night.
That's awesome. So is everybody kind of in that area, or do you get a lot of people that do travel hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to come to these?
We had a couple people that traveled over an hour to be here, I think. Anybody here travel more than an hour to get here tonight?
Is that a Canadian hour?
Well, that's true. We've got a fella here from Hamilton, Ontario, which is like 4 hours away, 5, and we've got a guy from Niagara Falls here as well. So that's like 6.
Wow.
Markham. Yeah, so there's a bunch of people here from a bunch of ways.
Good for them. You owe them a drink, because anybody who's willing and to travel that far to hang out with you, you owe them a drink.
They would probably agree with that. Jeremy recommends buying you a drink for putting up with me for a night. So anyway, yeah,
so,
they'll participate if you have any questions. But yes, happy New Year to you as well.
Yeah.
Were you working that night?
What's that?
Were you working that night? Were you working New Year's Eve?
You know what? This is my first New Year's Eve in 5 years that I've had off.
No kidding.
So yeah, it was actually kind of nice. We got to hang out with friends. We got to hang out with the kids. Just got to play board games. It's like, holy smokes, I don't do that anymore. You have kids, you don't get a chance to do those type of things. So it was good. It was different, which was a good change of pace. But I already have a booking for next year, New Year's Eve. We have a huge private event that we're doing. It's not a wedding. Got it. So we'll be anxious to start working and designing that project.
Nice.
How about you?
Well, I oddly enough had first wedding I've had on New Year's Eve in 15 years probably.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had a wedding on New Year's Eve in ages. Now, I often work wedding socials, which we have, of course, in Manitoba. I often work those on New Year's Eve, but yeah, I had a wedding this year, so that was really fun because it's been a long time since I've done a countdown with a wedding crowd, which is, obviously a little extra special. So
yeah, that's always fun. I always like that hour going into the final rundown. That last 15 minutes, that 10 minutes, that 5 minutes, the 60 seconds, and so tell me, Dave, what song did you use as you were building up the energy going into midnight? What song did you use?
Oh God, what song did I use? I do not remember. This is terrible.
I would like people to put in the chat. You can see the chats. I don't ever pull up the chat, so I can't ever see them.
Right.
I would like for people to put the song that they use to build up the crowd as they go into kind of the last minute countdown. So the song that we like to use the Bee Gees "Staying Alive."
No kidding. Bee Gees "Staying Alive"?
Yeah, it's good for all ages. You know, you got your older people out there.
Yeah.
Once that thing hits, then you've got, your Auld Lang Syne. And then you go into, something like a little bit more Pitbull or something like that.
Right.
Time out there. Yeah. So, yeah, Staying Alive.
Very nice. Hold on.
Great for us.
Let me pull everybody here. Question for everybody here. What song did you use to lead into midnight if you were working this New Year's Eve? Because I can't remember what I used. This is terrible. Jeremy's asking. I have no idea.
Into or at 12 o'clock?
Like the moment before 12. What was your final song in 2017?
Other than All Inside, it was
1999 by Prince. Nice.
All right.
I did the Higher State of Consciousness into Played a Live Bongo Song. It was in a restaurant bar.
Okay.
Nobody was dancing. No, it was hot.
Jump around.
You got to tell us, Dave. What are they saying? We can't hear them.
Oh, Sweet Child of Mine.
Okay. That's different.
Oh, very cool. Okay. Very cool. So one of the guys here tonight was playing a party at Wayne Gretzky's winery out in the Niagara region on New Year's Eve. And so he played 1999 as the final song before midnight in honor of Gretzky's number 99.
Oh, very nice.
Damn. Well done. So that's what the boys here were doing. We've got, let's see. The final countdown is what's been typed into the chat. And custom pre-made mix, final countdown, another one. I will survive, somebody put. I'm not sure if DJ LM is joking or not.
I will survive. That would work.
That's awesome. Yeah, I suppose it would. But no, New Year's, I do have one comment to make, though. And I don't know if this is normal for you, Jer, if you've worked a lot more New Year's Eves than I have, but I had family down, of course, as a lot of people do over the holidays. In fact, we went out and visited some family over Christmas and the Boxing Day, and then the day after Boxing Day, we traveled home. And then I had family come to our house for 3 days. And having all that family, like right before a wedding, stressed me out.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
It's been so long since I've been in that situation. And I'll be honest, this might sound weird, but I was glad I charged a premium for my event because I was like I was stressed. And, I love my bride, Ashley. If you ever hear this, I love you. But, it's 14 wedding party members, big wedding party to introduce. Didn't get some bios until that week. So, family goes to bed. I'm scripting late at night. But anyway, it was a fun time. I had a great time. So.
Yeah. And that is, one of those things where if you know that the holiday is coming or you know that you have people coming in ahead of time, it's really just reaching out to your couples in advance and saying, hey, this is the holiday. We've got a lot going on. I know you're going to have a lot going on. If you can get this stuff to me even 2 weeks before our deadline or 2 weeks before we usually do, that would help me out a ton. And I want to make sure that I get these done right. So that way I can perform them the way you would expect it to be done. So
yeah, very true.
That's one thing that I've done with some of my couples, when we have like a wedding the weekend after our Labor Day or our Memorial Day, I will tell them that, I'm going to be on vacation. I know you're going to be on vacation. So let's finalize 2 weeks in advance. Let's go through everything in advance. And that can really be big for them and for you.
Right.
Press out going into it. It's like running a multi-op, Dave.
What's that?
I said it's just like running a multi-op. Now you know what it's like.
Yeah, pretty much. By the way, I just noticed something funny. In case anybody's wondering why my chin appears to be slightly radioactive tonight, it's because due to the elevated volumes where I'm at this evening, I have my microphone really close to my chin, and there's a green LED light on it. So, anyway.
I think it looks cool.
So, New Year, new Jeremy, or same old Jeremy we're used to?
Yeah, a little of both. Okay. So, we for business, we're definitely pushing for some new directions, and we're trying some new things, which is exciting.
Right.
Personally, I'm not big on New Year's resolutions, but I do like to set goals. Business goals, financial goals, personal goals. I kind of fell off the wagon with the whole fitness thing. So I'm definitely trying to get back into that and get myself back into shape. A couple other things, for business, it's just, building the team the right way and getting the right people in the right seats. I think that's going to be a big thing for us in 2018. Last year was, it was kind of a roller coaster. We had some ups and downs, and, we made some new moves that I think are going to be really effective. And I'm looking forward to 2018. Our schedule's looking great. Our corporate line is looking great. Our corporate schedule is looking great. And just trying to tackle it all,
Nice. No, very good. Very good. I'm, as I think we've spoken about before on this conversation that we have every week, it's New Year's resolutions aren't really a big thing for me either.
Yeah.
But I did take on a theme last year, which was get uncomfortable, which I, kind of used to push me into a few spaces that just aren't me, at least not Dave 1.0. This is Dave 2 or 3.0 we're on now. But, for this year, I think I'm going to adopt, well, not I think we're going to, I guess it's too late now, learning how to say no in order to really say yes.
Yeah.
I think you and I are both victim to this. We get involved in maybe too many things sometimes, right? We say yes all the time, which means we're not really saying yes to one thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because everything's just getting a little bit of us now. So, this year I'm getting, really involved with the DJ Association up here, which is a lot of fun. And so I'm going to be saying no to more things in order to say yes, like really, really commit, really say yes to other things. And same goes for my business. I'm sure yourself as well. I mean, there are some types of events you do, and there are some types of events you don't do. And I think for DJs overall, that learning how to say no is great in a lot of other aspects of things too.
I think there's a lot of ways to actually look at this conversation, Dave. Look at some of the companies that are like, oh yeah, we do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And I think it's all because someone asks them, hey, can you do that? And they're like, of course we can, and I mean, we're all like that. I'm like that. It's like, yeah, I can help you line up a zebra for a birthday party. I mean, we're literally doing that for somebody. They actually lined up the zebra, but we have to lay this carpet padding and everything for the zebra for this kid's 5th birthday.
What?
So, yeah. I mean, it's one of our big corporate clients. It's his daughter's birthday. And, so we're like, yeah, we can help out wherever you need. She goes, oh, great. So can you lay the padding for the floor? It's like, we can do that, but, it's one of those things where, like I said, we're not going to put that on our resume. We're not going to be like, oh yeah, we'll lay carpet or we'll lay padding for your zebra.
Right.
It's one of those things. And you kind of said it. It's putting your energy into one place and putting your energy in the right places. Instead of saying yes, 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 saying yes here, yes here, yes here. No, I don't think I'm ready to take that on because I'm really trying to focus on this. And I think that becomes a really big problem that a lot of us run into. And I know I've been there. There's times I'm still there. And it's like, I look at a project and I just have to tell myself, it's like, okay, if I do that, what is it taking me away from? And
right.
Because of it. And I've got some great scenarios that I'll be happy to share. I don't know if anybody's chatted or have any input or anything like that, or if you have anything to say. But I can definitely give, like I said, I can give you a scenario or a very, I guess a lot of people would be familiar with, is the whole mobile beat thing. So tell me what your thoughts are.
Well, I can relate to what you're saying. I mean, when it comes to my business, I remember quite a number of years ago when I transitioned from the slightly awkward business name to which was Special Request Disc Jockey and Imaging, and I instead changed to Special Request Weddings. And I was really proud of the company name, and I am to today. That's still what I refer to my company. But I remember distinctly at the very first DJ meeting that I was at, when I had my new business cards, my new company name, and I remember a DJ looking at me saying, well, Dave, this is a terrible business name. Now people are just going to think you specialize in weddings. I was like, yeah, right.
That's cool.
I think I think, I think a lot of DJs will say, oh yeah, I know how to say no to things. I know how to say no to things. But in the same breath, they say we specialize in mitzvahs, corporate, school dances, just everything, right? They're yes to everything. And, my business card, my company name was a way of me saying no to a lot of stuff. Now, just so people are aware, do I do other stuff than weddings? Yes, I do. But when I do, people are almost thinking I'm doing them a favor because I'm making an exception for them,
Right.
which leads to increased value on the part of the client.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So like I was saying, I kind of have a good example that I think a lot of DJs would relate with. I know that I think, oh gosh, the Mobile Beat crew, they had just announced that ADJ was going to be doing the lighting. And I think, like I think we talked about this last time. They're going to do a great job. ADJ's got some great product out there. Mobile Beat was begging for years. They're like, hey, we want to do a video wall. We want to do a video wall. Well, when I was working with Chauvet on the project, we didn't have a video wall, or they didn't have a video wall at the time. So we couldn't really fulfill that need in the DJ level. If they would have brought a video wall from the professional line, yeah, it would have looked awesome. But the whole point of Chauvet having a video wall is to sell it to the DJs. And DJs, I mean, we're all cheap. It's going to be a very rare group of people to try and market a $70,000 video wall to. So, that was one thing when I look back in the last couple of years that Chauvet just said, no, we're not going to do a video wall. We're not going to do a video wall. So I'm glad that ADJ is bringing a video wall. I think that's going to add a lot of cool things for the production this year. It really came down to, last year after the show, and I know you and I have talked about this personally one-on-one. The things I missed the networking. I missed actually paying attention and listening to the conference instead of having this, these headphones on and talking about the plan of actions that are going to be happening or the changes that are happening backstage, things like that. It just took me away from the actual convention.
Right.
And I miss having lunch with so many great DJs. There was so much that I missed. And don't get me wrong, I loved doing the production, but when they asked again, I just had to say no because I was losing the whole purpose of what a trade show was all about.
Right.
So, that was after I had made the decision after the show, which was back in March, that I wasn't interested in doing it again. And then I think Ryan had reached out to everybody who was kind of involved last year and said, hey guys, DJ Expo is over and we want to start talking about getting things lined up. And that's when I basically just reassured with Jeff Short, who is, obviously Mr. Chauvet DJ.
Yeah.
Jeff, I just want you to remember, I'm not interested in doing the show again this year because, again, there was just so much that I'm missing out on, and I can't let that happen. So I have to say no. But like I said, they bounced back. I mean, Mobile Beat, they jumped on another opportunity, and ADJ jumped on the opportunity. They're going to be a great fit for each other. I'm excited to see the show and see what they do. I know that they're going to do a fantastic job. But it was my honor to actually just say no. It felt good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you killed it, man. But I know as the friends that you have that attend the show, we certainly get the saying no, because we're glad to have Jer back.
Yeah. It was like, you saw, it was like, I was so worn out. I didn't get to enjoy the show like you guys did. And I missed that.
Right. Exactly. Well, and you know what? And so people might be wondering, Dave, what are some things you're going to say no to this year so that you can say yes? Well, you know what? My buddy Brian and I, we founded a wedding vendor networking group in Manitoba, a number of years ago. It's been a blast, but it needs new blood. It needs new, fresh people. So, I think that's something I'm going to be saying no to this year so that I can really say yes to my other commitments. I mean, when I moved, 2 years ago, I left I was on the board of the local chamber of commerce. I was an active member with the fire department. You know what, Dave, are you going to get involved in that stuff when you move to the new community? No, I'm not, because I really want to commit to some things that I haven't been able to commit to fully because I was spread too thin.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah, that's gonna be a big thing for me going forward this year. Just really finding a few things to really focus on, put all of my energy into those things, and learning how to say no. I know this is partly inspired as well by an awesome interview that Tim Ferriss did with, oh God, I forget his name now. This is terrible. It'll come to me. Anyway, the guy has a rule when it comes to any project offering or anything. It's either no or hell yes. There's no in between. He's like, why would you want to be an in between? Why would you want to be like a, yeah, sure. Why would you waste your time on a, yeah, sure. Why?
Yeah.
He's like, no, it's no or it's a hell yes. And I remember hearing that and I'm like, that's a really good way to live.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, some of the things that I've done in the past, it's like, you know, I told you before, I have like a certain amount of weddings that I want to do a year because I want to focus on weddings. I don't want to work every single weekend. I have a beautiful family that gets to see me once in a while. We have a lake home now, you know, so spending some time up at the lake, I don't want to lose those opportunities. And in the past, there's always been that, oh, well, you know, we really want you to do our wedding. It's like, gosh, you know, this is my weekend. I really wanted to be, okay, I'll do it. And that I think is going to change this year. I really think I'm going to be able to easily say no. And I think it's going to be reassuring for myself, for our company, for me getting other guys out there, and just putting the right entertainer with the right people, even though I'm personally not available to help.
Right.
But that's been a big thing. We've had a lot of people actually reaching out to us and saying, oh gosh, you know, we're looking for a videographer. It's like, okay, we don't do that. And we're not going to try to do that. So we're going to push you this direction. And then same thing, some of our corporate clients that we work with, they're asking us to do video shoots. It's like, okay, I can hire on a videographer to make sure it gets done right. Because us focusing on what we do in lighting, production, and entertainment, that's where we put our energy. So when we have a corporate event and they're like, we want a live video feed, I'm like, okay, I'll hire someone to run the video and we'll take care of all the projection, we'll take care of all the screens, we'll take care of all the video. They run it to us and that's it. You know, so I'm not I have good relationships with people who I know are going to do a great job. They're going to do a quality job and who I would recommend for any client that is working with me.
Right.
Again, it's me saying, no, I can't do it or I don't want to do it, but I will get the right person in here to do it.
Exactly. And that's a great way to say no, while at the same time being a resource to the person who's asking you to do something.
Right.
Yeah. We can only be really, really great at so many things. I remember I toured a photography studio back a number of years ago. This was like the highest end photographer in the area. And, you know, he had this studio and, you know, the staff. He even printed everything right there as well. I mean, the guy had, you know, $50,000 or $100,000 in printers exclusively for printing his own work.
Wow.
And, you know, we got to talking about his process of shooting and editing and whatever. And he's like, oh, no, I don't edit my photos. We were like, oh, okay, cool. You know, you shoot that good that you just print them out straight. He's like, oh, no. He says, I'm really, really good at shooting. I hire the best people in the world to edit my stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say yes to editing my photos when there's a way better way for me to do it, get better people involved. And, oh, sign is dancing. People are getting excited here because there's 7.8 seconds left in an Ottawa-Toronto hockey game. I know for all of you Americans watching, might not mean much, but this is like the rivalry in Ontario. Battle of Ontario, they're calling it. Everybody's watching. 7.8 seconds left. Empty netter. Do you think Toronto's going to tie it up, Jeremy?
I could not tell you what that means.
Yeah, some things are just more important than sorry, John. And there's the game.
Oh, whew. I was worried.
Toronto and Ottawa are only a couple of hours apart, of course, and rivalry between these two NHL hockey teams, massive.
Yeah.
All the guys here saying that they simply don't attend games in Toronto because there's so many fans of both in Toronto that things can get a little ugly in the stands. So anyway,
So you said Ian Moon had a question.
Yeah,
We were talking a little bit about corporate. What was the question that he had?
Okay, so Ian Moon had a question about corporate. So everyone, we're going to segue here from wedding chat for a little bit. When you have repeat corporate clients, let's say 4 years in a row, at what point and how much do you increase the price over time? That's a very interesting question, Ian, because I'm in a similar boat right now, actually, with one of my corporate clients. So, Jerry, you do more corporate than I do. So what's your take?
So first of all, you have to ask yourself, what value are you bringing to them? Obviously, they're rehiring you because you do a great job. If they're hiring you just because of price, then I would say you don't deserve a raise. If they're hiring you because you're good at what you do, then maybe just have a sit down meeting with them and say, we've been doing this for 4 years. My rates did go up, and say, I'm just throwing a number out there. I was charging them $1,000 before. My rates went up to $1,500, but I want to meet you halfway. I'll do it for $1,250. So you're giving them a little give and take on both sides.
Right.
And I mean, truthfully, everybody should be giving themselves a raise every single year. Look at your books and say, did I earn what I need to survive? Right. And when you look at our economy, we have a great economy right now. Our economy is booming. Things are looking really good, but that also means cost of living goes up. And when cost of living goes up, people are making more, they're spending more. And now if that corporate client is hiring you on, they can afford you. And especially if they're 4 years in, if it's a new corporate, maybe you need to start here and then work your way to where you want to be. Building a relationship. If you've built that relationship, then to me, you've built the income that you deserve. Start charging. Again, I don't know. There's no magic percentage or anything like that. Just have that conversation with that corporate client and ask them what they feel is fair. This is where I'm at. If they say, my fee is $1,500 now, if they say, well, that's a little bit more than what we wanted to spend, and say, you know what, I'll meet you halfway. I was charging you $1,000. I would like to be at $1,500.
Right.
$1,250 sound.
Right.
So a little compromisation can really make it a little easier for you.
Right. So Ian says makes sense. So thank you, Jimmy, for that. Ian, I'll offer what I'm doing. So I have a client where I've worked for them for, is it 7 years now, maybe in a row? I think I just completed their 7th Christmas party. 6th for sure. Anyway, what I've been doing is when they book for the following year, I tell them, look, my rates have gone up. For this year, I'll honor last year's price. But next year it's going to be X number of dollars.
Yeah.
And then, it's kind of done. And honestly, you can have that conversation with them every year if you want. Next year it's going to be $100 or $200 more or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That way they always feel like they're one step behind your company raises.
And one thing, if they ask, well, why did the price go up? Just say, well, I had to buy $1,000 more in music just this year or whatever it is. I mean, you have so many different ways you can say, we had some equipment, with some equipment upgrades that are going to make your party better. They're going to, there's so many different avenues you can go, but really just tell them that it's a raise. I'm talented. Hire me because I'm talented. And, this would be a pre-built-in tip.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. By the way, Ian says, I'm where I want to be price-wise. I just want a little more.
Well, then you're not where you want to be.
Yeah, true that. I like the way that sounds, Dave. He also said, okay, good stuff, Ian. Well, I hope that helps.
Ian was in my chat last week. I don't know if anybody saw the chats that were going on, the little chat rooms. Did you hear about those, Dave?
I missed that. I was really tied up last week.
Yeah. So, that's right. So we had John had put together a couple different chat rooms, and people could decide if they wanted to go to performance, if they wanted to go to sales, if they wanted to go to. I did a lighting one,
right?
And, it was well received. We had a lot of people that came into ours. When mine got done, we actually I think the sessions were supposed to be an hour. I think we ended up going like an hour and 15. Someone was like, Brian Red went 3 hours. I'm like, holy smokes, what'd you guys talk about for 3 hours?
Holy Brian Red.
Yeah. So I got done and I'm like, well, Bill Herman, he's doing a performance workshop or performance section. So I'm going to go in there. Well, his was already done by the time I got out and got into there. So I
Nice.
did go to MJ's. I went into his, and his was actually pretty fun as well. He did a mixing one. That was pretty cool. It sounds like John's going to be putting a lot of those together where someone just score a goal.
No, Donnie was just casting a shadow over me and putting me in the dark. Many people know Donnie Lovering.
Yeah, how's it going, Donnie?
Who's
Is that his coach?
Jeremy Brech.
Hey, Jeremy Brech.
How you doing?
How are you?
Welcome to Just Talking News TV live.
Am I on TV?
You're on TV.
I'm on TV.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
So what I was saying, it sounds like John's gonna be putting a couple of those together, and I don't know how often they're gonna be, but I think it's a great way to, again, kind of pick and choose the direction you want to go. Maybe you're in performance for a while, then all of a sudden you're like, hey, I want to go check out lighting, or I want to go check out mixing. So I thought that was really cool. And actually, that kind of brings me to the next thing. He's got the schedule out. It's on DJNTV or Disc Jockey News TV on their Facebook page. It's like the whole list of all the different workshops, or I'm sorry, not workshops, video live casts that we do, like you and I. He has a whole rundown of all these different shows that are going on. So, for instance, I think a lot of people know Mitch Taylor and Vicky. They had their Creative Connections, and now it's going to be hosted on here as well. So you'll be able to watch them on DJNTV, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And then let me see, what was the other ones that I saw? Brian Red's still on Tuesdays. Ben Stowe is still on Tuesdays. It looks like Drax has a slot. I don't know. I'm not sure if he's been on all the time.
Welcome to the team anyway, Drax.
Yeah. And then right before our show, MJ actually has a live music and mixing show, which, like I said, if you ever get a chance to watch MJ, he's very good at teaching people how to learn that craft of mixing music and scratching and making things.
I'll have to get in.
Have purpose.
I'll have to get into one of those rooms one night. And MJ's as well. Big shout out to MJ. Someone is just commenting on the chat too that they went 3+ hours in MJ's and loved it. So
yeah, nice, cool. But I actually, when we had the telethon, MJ and I were on at the same time, and John gave away, like, I did an hour of lighting for anybody who donated $99 or $100, whatever it was. And then MJ had a mixing session. And so right when John's like, oh yeah, anybody who wants to donate $100, we'll give you the option of MJ mixing session or lighting with Jeremy. And so I was on the show and I bought an MJ session. Just because, like I said, I've had a chance to visit with him at DJ Expo, and he's like, oh yeah, you can do this with the controller, you can do that and this. And so it was like really inspiring. I'm like, I gotta just get some time with him one-on-one. Yeah. Another one that's on is, which I think is really exciting as well. Here we go. Get your drinks ready. Mike Walter and Joe Bunn have their PhDJ podcast show, which is on Thursdays at 10 in the morning, Eastern time. So I'm excited to see those guys on here as well. If you haven't watched their show, they do a great job in their show. They're both entertaining. Mike Walter, again, we talk about him every show, and that's why we always have this little drinking game. Actually talked about Mike before the show because I was thinking, I'm going to see if I can go this entire show without talking about Mike. But we couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
Joe Bunn and this other guy have this show at 10 a.m. on Thursdays. Creative License, Bill is on Thursdays at 1:30, so that's in the afternoon. That's always an awesome show. I love watching Bill. And they're like 5 minutes and they're done. So it's here's the meat, here's the information. Bill's got some really cool things coming up here because, as you know, Bill's up in Minneapolis, right?
Yep.
Super Bowl is in Minneapolis this year. And
Pardon me?
I chatted with Bill last week, and he was telling me about a project that he's working on that is going on around the same time as the Super Bowl. And we're talking, pretty big development, and it's going to be exciting to see how it all comes together and how he puts it all together. So
Interesting.
Too much, but like I said, I mean, Bill's very creative, very outside of the box thinker, and he's got some cool things that are happening for the Super Bowl. So keep your eye out for it. It'll be good.
Right. Yeah. Day and night DJs commenting. It's a lot of content. Yeah. John's got a pile of content on right now. God, there's no reason that everybody should not be able to up their game big time in 2018 with the selection of content that John has going on Disc Jockey News. So a big shout out to John for doing such a great job in 2017 and just ramping it up even bigger for 2018 and a special shout out to everybody watching as well. What's that?
I said, and asking us to be a part of it.
Yeah, he's probably still regretting that, but no, and a special thanks to all of the folks that watched Jer and I's show this past year and stick with us going forward. Would love more content suggestion from people. What do you want to hear Jeremy and I talk about when it comes to weddings? I mean, both Jeremy and I are in the unique space of, we've had some interesting experiences going through the Wed Guild process and elevating the level of our performance and offering to above average levels. I think that's comfortable to say. And anything we can do to share, anything we can do to dissect and piece that apart for your benefit, please let me know. Let us know. I'll write about it. We'll talk about it here, whatever the case may be. So,
you know what? I think kind of a good thing. It doesn't have to always be about wedding. Ian had a question about corporate. I think there is some corporate and wedding overlap. But obviously, yes, we definitely want to talk about weddings. The thing with, you look at the corporate wedding overlap, we work with a lot of weddings that next thing we know, we're working with them in corporate or vice versa. We're working.
So true.
And they're like, hey, we need you to do this wedding. So that's always a good thing for us as well. Feel free, ask any questions and we'll tell you how we relate with it, how maybe we can relate with the wedding aspects that might come with that question. But I guess in the last 10 minutes, here's what I would like to do, Dave. I think you were in the post. I know you were in the post because you talked about, getting a premium rate. And I don't like to brag. This is how much I make, that type of thing. But there was this conversation that Mark Farrell had posted, and there were people that, it was this getting what you're worth. And then why would we listen to a coach that hasn't played the game in however long? And there was a lot of debate going back and forth on this. And I'm going to be honest, you don't have to raise your rate if you don't want to. You don't have to make a living being a DJ.
Right.
I'm not putting anybody down by any means, but if you don't agree with learning from somebody, then just stay out of the conversation. I think there's a lot of value in what Mark Farrell does, what Bill Herman does, what Randy Bartlett does. Okay, so Randy Bartlett's going to be retiring. This is like his last presentation, what he says that he's doing. But I guarantee that people aren't going to stop doing what's happening in the 1% solution just because Randy's not DJing anymore.
That's a great point.
Like, you know what? Randy told me to wrap my cords or hide my cords on my speaker stands. He's not in the game anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. Okay, that's not the point. The point is do what improves your business, what improves you as an entertainer. They're not saying, here, I'm going to spoon feed you. I want you to entertain like this. No, they're saying, let's make you the best entertainer we possibly can. And I think that's the important part, that people are kind of, they have blinders on because, again, Mark hasn't DJ'd in however long, but what he did was successful. And what he teaches you, what he teaches myself, what he teaches Jim Cerrone, Bill Herman, all these guys who are making really good money doing what we do, we're taking that information, we're making it us.
Right.
I think that's the thing people need to realize, that, there's a lot of CEOs that are retired, but now they're speaking and they're making $100,000 a speaking engagement. Look at Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy is not a coach anymore. But what were you going to say?
Well, and I mean, think of your favorite movies. Think of those actors that are acting in those movies. I mean, some past Oscar winners, best actor awards have gone to guys like Matthew McConaughey and Leonardo DiCaprio. Every one of them is working with acting coaches who've never won an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Right? Well, now, why would these guys be working with acting? Wouldn't they have to be working with acting coaches that at least won an Academy Award? Because they're Academy Award winners now. Of course not.
Yeah.
It's preposterous in the very least. And yeah, I did see that thread of Mark's. I've been away for a couple of days, so I did not have time to read up on it. But I gathered there was just a little bit of chatter.
There was some tension going on. Yeah, there was a little bit of tension. And I mean, people made some really good points. Like they're like, look at Mark I don't know, the Alabama coach, Sabian. I don't know. I think maybe he's not even with Alabama. Anyways, look at Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy hasn't played football for however many years. And then he became a coach, and now he hasn't coached forever. But when he gets on, you know who Tony Dungy is? Okay.
No idea.
All my USA
okay. A lot of other people do.
All my USA people know who he is. But Tony Dungy, when he starts marking up a board saying, "Okay, watch this safety or watch this happen," he was a football coach. Now he's a commentator.
Got it.
For like an hour segment on. I don't even know what channel it is. Geez, Fox.
Okay.
Anyways, so everybody stops and listens to him because he knows what he's talking about. He can still be a coach.
Yep.
Who's the? Oh my gosh, I'm so blank right now. He got a $100 million contract with the Raiders. Yeah, as their coach.
John Gruden.
Guys, please chat in there. Tell me, I can't even think of his name right now.
Who just? Any idea who just got a $100 million contract with the Ravens? The coach?
Raiders.
Anybody know his name? Sorry? John Gruden?
There we go. Oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, I'm a Buccaneers fan, and he actually won the Super Bowl with the Bucs, and I was drawing a complete blank. But anyways, he got a $100 million contract. Okay, he got that contract not because he was just a coach, but he coached, and then he got fired, and he was also on the NFL Network or the NFL TV shows, and would basically break down this, break down that, talk with players, do this, do that, and now he has a $100 million contract.
Damn.
So it's not that fact that he was a coach; it was the fact that he still has knowledge, and he's able to coach people.
Yep.
That's what people need to understand is you have to be coachable. You have to be open to being vulnerable. And, in our industry, there's not a lot of people who are willing to share. And I think it's important when you do have somebody who's willing to share, just give it a shot. Give it a listen. See what happens. If you don't like it, then just keep it to yourself and say, this just wasn't for me.
Yeah. Very true. Nobody's forcing you to learn from those people, folks.
Exactly.
So future topics, we've had a few people suggest, and then we'll wrap up for the night here.
John, write these down.
Yeah. How do you approach people at bridal shows? Strategies on getting them to book. What experiences have you guys had with that? Did we talk about bridal shows once, or did we just briefly touch on? We should maybe do a show around that, eh?
Yeah, we should probably do that next week, just because
I'd love that. Yeah, I'd love that.
We briefly touched on that.
And another future topic, multi-op pricing. How do you price multiple DJs at multiple experience levels? How do you present the info to the clients? We actually did a show all about that.
Yeah, we did.
DJ Rick Webb is asking about that. Rick, Jeremy and I haven't done a whole lot of shows yet, so if you look up our shows on John's YouTube channel, you should be able to find it, because I think it was titled about pricing multi-ops, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it has the word multi-op in it.
Yeah, so check that out, okay, Rick? If you can't find it, reach out to either one of us, Rick, and I'll hook you up with the link, okay? And let's see. Someone said, I think I heard the voice of God. Might have been somebody back here. I don't know. By the way, everyone, I hope it wasn't too loud back here. It's a room full of DJs. What do you expect?
Yeah, no, actually, it was pretty good.
Good. Let's see. Yeah, shoot us your messages, folks, about what you want us to chat about, and we'll do that in the coming weeks. All right?
Well, Dave, hey, it was great seeing you again. We were off for like 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
kind of missed you.
Awesome. Well, I was glad to be back. It was kind of weird having every Wednesday evening free. It was like a little bizarre, actually. And truth be told, I had last Wednesday evening booked just because it was normal. And like Tuesday, the day before, I'm like, whoa, I have tomorrow night free. This is so amazing. I got things to do.
That's awesome.
But anyway, yeah, thanks, everyone. I'll be back home in Manitoba for next week's show, and we'll see you all from there.
See ya.
Good night.